Asher and Penland on W4CY Radio.
Pipe Man and Conundrum. He normally covers Riot Fest. He normally covers Louder in Life. This year, they're the same weekend. And there was a major announcement made this weekend. It's all over the news. It was on Good Morning America. But Captain James T. Kirk, 95-year-old William Shatner, is going to debut his heavy metal band at Riot Fest. Not only that, he had a list of demands. Would you like to hear what his demands were?
Let's hear the demands.
Okay, I want Pet Health Guru to be involved in this because I'm sure he knows James T. Kirk, and I have I got James T. Kirk got me through college basically. Okay, because that was my only free time, working 80 hours a week and pulling 17 credits a semester at Rutgers. My free time was watching Star Trek. So here was William Shatner's demands. Rename a boat in honor of William Shatner so he can captain a ship again. The town of Chicago has to provide that, by the way. So Riot Fest has been writing him for 10 years to do this, okay? He's finally doing it, and he made demands from Riot Fest and from Chicago. Chicago also has to do it one prominently displayed Riot Fest 2026 billboard with William Shatner's face and the face of one lucky fan. A classic Chicago food item to be named in tribute to William Shatner. William Shatner gets to co-anchor the weather outside with Chicago's most beloved meteorologist. William Shatner gets to sing Take Me to the Ball Game at a Chicago baseball game. That's what Chicago has to provide. Riot Fest must provide during the performance fire breathers, many of them, an intro video created by Gwar, and an artist golf cart shall be replaced. Instead of an artist golf cart, he wants a DeLorean to bring him around the festival. And then for hospitality, Riot Fest must provide a dressing room, and it shall be themed as Shatner's Shag Shack to artist specifications. See 18.3 of performance contract. This is serious shit, too, by the way. It's not a joke. It's real. 4 feet of Polish sausage. 1 Montreal Canadian hockey sweater signed by John Stamos. 8 pallets of Faygo. That's the stuff that Insane Clown Posse sprays at the audience. Not to be shared with Insane Clown Posse, it says. 1 pair of white tube socks and 1 pair of underwear. An assortment of this is where Pet Health Guru comes in. And it's so apropos for the show today. And an assortment of adoptable puppies sourced from a reputable local animal rescue nonprofit. And then a bouquet of flowers in a vase, something sweet, something dainty. And the last thing, which he had to remind the anchors on Good Morning America of, because he was talking to them, and they gave all the demands, but they forgot one. And he said, you forgot 1 bowl of sauerkraut in his dressing room ready to eat. And I didn't get that one until somebody informed me, and maybe Bill can confirm this or not, that apparently all the old people, they eat sauerkraut, and that they say that's the secret to living longer because of the probiotics. So now I'll switch it to you, Bill. Is that true?
Yes, it is. Fermented foods, we lived with them for generations, and they've eliminated them all by pasteurization. It's killing us. But another thing on William Shatner, as you know, Dean, I do a patch company. He was our oldest ever intern with that company.
Wow. Wow, that's
they
cool.
recorded it. They did a whole big promotion around it. He was the world's oldest intern for a company.
Holy crap. That is
He's
way
all over the
cool.
place. Hey, listen, I'm hoping I make it that long.
Right?
With that kind of excitement.
Well, 90, and listen, now he's my hero. He was before, but now 95, and he's starting a heavy metal band. Oh my God. Like, I'm in such a conundrum which festival to go to because it's like once in a lifetime. And how cool would it be to interview Captain Kirk, but about metal? So what a great thing he's doing with the adoptable puppies. And so how apropos to what we're going to talk about today, and that's about our babies. Oh, my baby. What are these tips to have your puppies have a long lasting life, Bill?
Adoptions have been around forever and ever and ever because, it used to just be called rehoming and, you used to be you're shared with your neighbors, but now it's become a business, unfortunately, and a big business. And to find good quality animals, I mean, the purpose of a rescue, of course, we did a couple of events we're in the very beginning where I brought up this question. And why do the rescues feel that they have to do all these procedures, chemical interventions, all of this sort of thing? And how come the veterinary industry is into it so deeply? If you're taking a dog from a bad place or a kitten from a bad place and putting it into a good place, that's admirable. That's what we want to do. That's what rescue's job is. But they go through and they start incorporating all these veterinary procedures and protocols into it, which, number one, raises the price, so that they can't do it affordably. Adoption fees go up and up and up. The other thing is many of the animals that are in rescue today are there because of the veterinary expenses. It's
interesting.
You can't, I have to, in fact, a lot of rescues as well. If you sign an adoption agreement, you have to do a certain number of veterinary visits, keep up to date with certain procedures, all of which have got documented histories of actually making the animal sicker. It's kind of like I'm creating customers through the kind-heartedness of people that want to help.
Yeah.
And that part of it is a really, really sad part of it. Now, I've been involved in rescue work for, probably 50 years. We actually do run a nonprofit, Lone Pine Rescue, which we've had for 20 some years. And our purpose is not so much to move animals, but ours is to try to teach them about holistic care and natural living so they don't need the services of doctors and veterinarians. And we want to get them on the right track. Finding good, reputable ones is sometimes difficult too. I mean, they all look good on paper. Let's face it. I got a 501(c), and I'm running off of donations. But many of these 501(c)s, as you're well aware, and I am, basically they're created to create a paycheck for the person that's running them.
Yeah.
And so it's very difficult. You really have to dig deep and find those with the best reputations and, that stand behind it. We do happen, I'm going to give a plug, which I never do, but we work with the Milk Drunk Foundation down here in South Florida, Miami, that does all neo care for really debilitated animals. And the founders of that were on the Pet Health Cafe show this past week and explained what they do and how they do it. And I mean, just the care of these animals is phenomenal. I mean, one of the founders of it, it's one of the few people I've ever found with the same passion that I have for helping animals.
Nice.
You know,
That's
it-
very hard. That's a needle in a haystack right there.
yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, we try to work with as many as we can. We've always offered this, different programs for rescues that want to work with us on getting those poor abandoned animals out in a healthy state and move forward. Let's keep these animals healthy and long life, and don't put an animal in, coming out of a shelter into a family that may have all kinds of financial issues down the road because of what was done in that rescue.
Yeah, totally. So, what do you think of this idea too of William Shatner? Like, all the other items were kind of ridiculous, but he really was being serious. Like, he wants to help pet rescues, and that's a condition. Wouldn't that be great if most artists or famous people took that strong of a stance to help animals?
There's a lot of them that make a good claim out there, but unfortunately, most of them are tied to a commercial interest.
Yes.
And everybody's. It's like every celebrity now wants to get in on the either having a forever home, a ranch for animals, which most of it is bogus anyway. But also, then they're all creating these brand new supplements and brand new foods that are supposed to be, just super, and they're really nothing more than the same old stuff that's been out there forever. But I'm putting my name on it, and I'm making money off it.
Yeah. I think people don't realize, like, when they see something named after somebody, or that they, they're the sponsor person or the spokesperson, that they don't realize that that's what it's about. It's business. It's not like, a passion.
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly, it's like, okay, I'm so and so, and when my dog Lulu got, hip problems, I was looking for natural solutions. So I went to basically allopathic medicine and found somebody who was a little bit off the wall to help me develop a variation on the standard dog food and at a premium price. And this will actually save their life, maybe give them 1 or 2 years extra. Well, when you look at what that standard industry has done, they've taken the lifespan of our dogs especially, from between 20 and 30 years. We've added modern technology, modern medicine into it, and now the average is 8 to 10 years. That doesn't seem like progress to me.
No, not at all. Well, thank God we have people like you too. So keep fighting the good fight for our little furry friends.
Every day, in every way.
And I see, Juan shaking his head too, and so I have to say, and the guppies.
Absolutely. I'm working on a new formulation for guppy food.
See, there you go,
That
Juan.
I would be interested in. Yes.
Yes, unfortunately, one of the favorite foods for guppies is baby guppies.
I was gonna say other guppies, and I was gonna be funny about it, but that's really what it is then.
Yeah.
Oh, do I want to help a cannibal?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of animals that we don't think of as being carnivorous, but that they really are. But then, there's another part of it, because I was doing some work over the last couple of weeks. And, we're, as mammals, we think, nurturing and, mom raising you and everything else. But there's a lot of animals out there that as soon as they're pushed out or they hatch out or develop, are completely on their own. Parents have nothing to do with them at all. They're born with the instincts and the abilities to survive.
Well, thank God again, they have somebody like you that can educate people on how to not kill them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
not on purpose, but listen, bad advice.
Yeah. I remember back, oh God, this is probably 20 or 30 years ago. One of the humane action groups went up into, I think it was Washington State or Idaho, up there in the Northwest someplace, to rescue minks. There was a big mink farm up there that they were raising the mink for fashion, obviously, coats and hats and stuff like that. So, not knowing the animal themselves, they broke into this place, started opening up all the cages. And
Oh no.
minks are a terrible, ferocious fighter.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, 90% death rate in the first half hour. They
Wow.
killed each other because they're so territorial and they are carnivores. It was such a disaster. I mean, can you imagine that the group, their PR person, how they explain that one?
Yeah, exactly. That's a PR nightmare right there.
Yeah.
And that'll be followed by criminal charges.
Yes. Well, of course, they had trespassing to start with, and disorderly conduct, and releasing the animals themselves under the animal rights code. Under the animal.
That would technically fall under destruction of property, right, for the business.
Yes, absolutely. And that was for kindness. We're going to release them and let them live free.
Oh my Lord, for kindness. Yeah, well, it's good you bring that up because there's sometimes people I've met in my life that, their heart's in the right place. They think they're doing the right thing, but really, because of their lack of knowledge, they're not really doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
And if-
especially now in the day of social media, where someone with bad knowledge or lack of knowledge will make a statement, and then that statement gets echoed throughout other accounts who believe that's the right statement because they agree with it, and then you just have a wave of misinformation going out there.
It's funny. I was just going to mention the same thing that I had a discussion this morning on social media, and they're talking. Well, this person is really knowledgeable and has like 9 billion likes and followings and everything else. And what are they doing? They're either showing a picture of an animal or talking about their own failures in life. It's okay to talk about failures to build somebody up and to show them a different way, but in many cases, these social media people too are just they're breeding on people's kindness and charging for a class, a book, or whatever, and that really does not necessarily contain a lot of facts. It's just my personal experience. Well, okay, your dog lived till 12 instead of 10. I did wonders when it was supposed to live to be 20. So what's the success rate there? What is the actual success?
Wow. Well, why don't you tell everybody about, Pet Health Guru, about Pet Health Cafe, about My Paleo Pet, and anything else you want to tell them about?
My whole our length of different endeavors. Well, My Paleo Pet, of course, is our retail store and online presence. That's where we sell all the good merchandise, all the good herbs, botanicals, farm to table items, the pet foods themselves, although they're not pet foods, they're actually human foods, packaged for pets, USDA, certified, fit for human consumption. We do raw dairy as well, raw cow's milk, raw goat's milk, which a lot of people, even though it's labeled for not for human consumption, there's a lot of good, healthy kids out there that are growing up strong and healthy because of it. Pet Health Cafe, of course, is our podcast, and I use it also under my magazine articles. And now we're setting the Pet Health Cafe Media Center and Education Center, where we'll be able to have guest speakers coming in and be doing Zooms and different podcasts and that sort of thing to build up the business. As I mentioned, Lone Pine Rescue is still out there trying to help other rescues do the best that they can. And, myself, I do consultations on nutrition. We help both people and pets. So I'm kind of like all over the place, as you're well aware. We manufacture also the BioComplete line of foods and herbal products. So we're kind of multifaceted in with that. We found the problem where we need to improve the health and welfare of these animals through rescuing them, putting them on a species appropriate diet, using different herbs, botanicals, and natural means to help their bodies heal themselves, because medicine does not heal anything. The body's got to do it itself, and all we can do is provide the tools. So we're there for that. And of course, then put out a distribution system that we can ship it all over the country, to get this stuff into your hands as a listener, as a viewer, to make your animal healthy. And then the consultations on the backside to make sure you're doing it right.
Well, I strongly suggest everybody check out your show, your podcast, and your store. Best ever if you care about your pet. It's the only place where your pet has a voice.
Thank you for listening to the Adventures of Pipe Man on W4CY Radio.